When we think about the energy sector, we usually picture the giants, right? But today, we're diving into a fascinating story about how one company is using a really clever corporate shortcut and some brand new tech to transform a single Indonesian gas field into what could become a regional powerhouse. So, get this. What happens when you take Indonesian natural gas, you mix it with the stock market, and then you sprinkle in some cutting edge digital asset technology? It sounds like a pretty weird recipe, doesn't it? But believe it or not, this is the exact formula at the heart of a new company called Trill Energy. And we're going to break down exactly how they're putting these three ingredients together. Okay, so to get our heads around this, we need to meet the two key players in this story. On one side, you've got Trail TBK. Now, this is a company that's already trading on the Indonesian Stock Exchange. It's the public part of the equation. And on the other side, we have a private company, PT Gregory Gas Perkasa. We'll just call them GGP. And they're sitting on a very valuable gas field with proven reserves. So the big question is, how do you get that valuable private gas asset into the company that's already trading on the stock market? Well, this is where the story gets really interesting. They're using a financial maneuver called a reverse takeover. So what in the world is a reverse takeover, or RTO? Just think of it like a corporate shortcut. See, normally a private company has to go through this super long, really expensive process called an IPO to start selling shares on the stock market. But with an RTO, the private company, in our case GGP, just buys a company that's already on the stock market, like Trill. It's a way faster path to becoming a public company. The whole process really boils down to three simple steps. First up, you have the private company, GGP, with its awesome gas asset. Next, the owners of GGP go out and buy a controlling stake in the public company, Trill. And then boom, the two basically merge, creating a brand new public company, Trill Energy, which now holds that fantastic gas asset. Simple as that. And what does this all look like at the end? Well, after the RTO is complete, the original owners of that private gas company now control about 75% of the new publicly listed TRIL Energy. The other 25% or so is what we call the public float. That's what's available for you and me to trade on the stock market. The key thing to remember here is this. The people who actually own the gas asset are now firmly in the driver's seat of a public company. Okay, so we've covered the how, the financial engineering. But what about the what? I mean, all this corporate strategy is totally meaningless if you don't have a real valuable asset at the center of it all. So let's zoom in and take a look at the Batanghari asset itself. We're talking about a pretty big patch of land, 454 square kilometers to be exact, located in the South Sumatra Basin. And for anyone who knows energy in this region, that's a huge deal. It's one of Indonesia's most productive areas for oil and gas. So this isn't some random lottery ticket. It's a known address in a very good neighborhood, surrounded by other active fields. And they didn't just stumble on those. There's a real history of methodical work here. Over several years, they've patiently explored the area, drilling multiple wells. A couple of them, Kenanga 1 and Kenanga 3, hit the jackpot. They were commercial discoveries that confirmed significant gas. Others gave them the critical data they needed to map out the whole reservoir. This is a story of patient, successful detective work. Now, all of that hard work boils down to one really important number: 48.95 billion standard cubic feet of gas. And look, that's not just a guess. It's what the industry calls 2P risk reserves, which is a fancy way of saying it's a certified, audited number. This is the verified amount of gas in the ground, and it's the absolute foundation of the company's entire value. And this isn't just some idea on a PowerPoint slide. Almost $50 million has already been spent to explore and prove this asset. Think about that. That's a huge commitment. And what it does is it de-risks the project. It means a lot of that initial uncertain and really expensive groundwork is already done. So the plan now is to flip the switch from exploring for gas to actually producing it. The initial target is 6 million standard cubic feet per day. This is the starting line. This is where the project goes from potential on paper to generating actual revenue. And here's the kicker. They've got the official green light. The Indonesian government has approved their Plan of Development, or POD. You can think of this as the final, all-important permit. It means they have official permission to build the facilities, drill the wells, and lay the pipeline they need to get the gas out of the ground and sell it. All right, so we've got the gas asset and we have the public company structure. But there's a third layer to this whole thing that makes it truly modern, and that's the digital advantage. This is where that tech component comes in. Trill is integrating something called real-world asset, or RWA, infrastructure. Now, in the simplest terms, just think of it as a super secure digital logbook for the entire operation. It uses technology similar to what you find in blockchain to create a transparent and basically tamper-proof record of everything, from the gas reserves to the daily production number. So what does this technology actually do? Well, it creates a digital fingerprint of the asset. It tracks production in real time, it makes the company's finances incredibly transparent, and it can even automate reporting for important stuff like compliance and ESG. That's environmental, social, and governance standards. The whole thing is designed to build efficiency and, just as importantly, trust. And here is the absolute key point, and I'm quoting directly here. This system enhances transparency, governance, and operational efficiency without introducing crypto exposure. Let's be really clear about this. This is not about creating a cryptocurrency. It's about using the powerful technology behind crypto to run a better, smarter, and more transparent energy company. But you know what? The ambition here doesn't just stop with one single gas field in Sumatra. This entire structure, the asset, the public company, the tech, it's all designed to be a launchpad for something much, much bigger. The vision is to use this company as a platform to expand across the region. The game plan is to acquire other energy assets all over Southeast Asia, specifically targeting projects that just need a bit more funding to really get going. They're already looking at opportunities in places like Malaysia, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea, and even Northern Australia. The goal is to become a major regional player. So let's just pull all these pieces together. What do you have? You've got a proven gas asset with a clear road to production. You have access to public capital markets for funding and growth. You've got a digital innovation layer for incredible efficiency and reporting. And it's all being run by an experienced team. It really is the complete package. And that leaves us with one really big question. By combining a real-world physical asset with access to public stock markets and a modern digital backbone for transparency, Trill Energy is creating a powerful new model. So you really have to wonder, is this the new blueprint for the energy company of the future?